Welcome to DNA's Birding Adventures. This is day 2 of our time in Lamar, Colorado, a great birding spot. We will focus on Two Buttes State Wildlife Area, John Martin Reservoir, and on the way home to Grande Reservoir. Two Buttes State Wildlife Area is just about 35 miles south of Lamar, and it's such a hidden treasure. We got so many different birds. We heard the yellow-billed cuckoo, but we weren't sure, so we didn't count it. But we got all these birds. Probably the most exciting were the roadrunner and the bobwhite. And here we go. When you head south on Highway 287, you just notice these two buttes off in the distance, but it's much more than that. The two buttes, I believe, are private property, but what's the jewel is the reservoir and dam down below. You can walk out onto the field, and that's where we spotted the bobwhite. There, you can hear the bobwhite over in those trees. Is it muddy? Bobwhite? Bobwhite? He's somewhere right over in there. You think he's hidden? It's quite a deluge last night, so a lot of the trails were impassable. This one was okay. At Two Buttes today, we spotted two different snakes, and this.
Which way are you going?
Cutie, we didn't want to run him over.
Go, be free.
We didn't want to run him over. Keep going. There's other cars coming, maybe. I doubt it. There. Freedom. We got back on the main dirt road to go over below the dam and went on a little trail that was pretty flooded as well. There's a vulture sitting up there and duff. Empty parking lot. We were really happy we had our bug spray. There were deer flies and mosquitoes out, but look how beautiful. It was totally worth it. And usually you can drive down the whole trail, but it was closed off, but it was a nice walking trail right along the road, but we did have to make our own trails in a few spots. Where? Do you see him? Oh, Canyon Run? It's a pretty trail. Black-headed grosbeak just flew by. There's warblers, mourning doves. We just heard a sora. There's all kinds of birds in here and no people. Nice little canyon wall up there. Kind of making our own trail now. Through the weeds. There's another road down there. We saw a canyon run in here last time we were here. Look at it. It's kind of along a dike. There's a couple vultures at the top over there. I've seen so many monarchs. We just heard a cuckoo. Roadrunner? Nice. Roadrunner just ran up that steep cliff. There's one of those baby redheads. This is such beautiful scenery here at Two Buttes, and we saw lots of other critters as well. It was kind of a hot day, so we were glad we got there early. And we also passed by 2 bull snakes in the park. Blue grosbeak sitting right over there on top of that dead branch. We walked to the end of the boundary of the wildlife refuge and then headed back. We have noticed this year there aren't nearly as many cliff swallows as there are every year. Almost every nest we see is empty. Yeah, no cliff swallows, just empty nests. It's like the end of the dam. The Two Buttes Reservoir is real pretty. There were actually a couple kayakers getting ready to put their kayaks in the water. Next stop, John Martin Reservoir State Park. We spent the evening there and got quite a few birds again, including 2 different owls and a scaled quail. We hadn't had one of those yet this year. The reservoir is huge. It's like 2.6 miles across, and the park is about 20 square miles. Right away, we saw more burrowing owls in the prairie dog towns. There's a rock wren over there. Lots of milk. This reservoir is just beautiful. It was built back in 1939 by John Butler in the Army Corps and is the 2nd largest lake in Colorado by capacity, also home to 400 different bird species. In all these little nooks and crannies on the cliff, we saw toads and birds, flowers, spiders. It was quite a fascinating ecosystem. sun was getting ready to set, and we found another little spot to park where it was the Santa Fe Trail, and that's where we spotted the owl. So this is the Santa Fe Trail. Redskin hiking trail. That storm's amazing. And then off in the distance is a great horned owl. As the sun was setting, all the dragonflies were claiming their little roosting spot, and all the spiders were making their webs. It was just beautiful. We worked up an appetite, and for the evening dinner we went back to La Mission Villanueva. It was so much fun. Got up early the next morning and went back to the Queen State Wildlife Area, but this time we went on the west side of the highway to Grande Reservoir. And again, there were so many different birds. We got 4 new birds for this year. Most notably was the snowy plover, 22 species in all. We were greeted by the Swainson's hawk. What a welcoming committee. And the snowy plovers were out in this little pond right at the edge of the water. There was a swarm of dragonflies everywhere we went. We don't know what some of these were, but I was able to figure out a few. There's like little baby dragonflies everywhere. They're so cute. They need to do their job. Actually, they're doing a pretty good job. There aren't very many mosquitoes. As we were leaving, we saw this great blue heron fly over, and we headed back to the car. Altogether, we got over 75 different bird species in just the weekend. We stopped first at the Queens State Wildlife Area, and then Willow Creek Park in the town of Lamar, south to Two Buttes State Wildlife Area, and then we went to the John Martin Reservoir and back to the Queens Reservoir. Next time in the spring, we'd like to check out the prairie chicken leks. This trip to Lamar has given us 11 different birds for our yearly list. This concludes part 2 of our weekend in Lamar. Thank you so much for watching, and happy trails to you. Until next time.